What's up, everybody? This is Romero Phillips, your favorite real estate agent. I'm here with my son today. We're going to give our input about Week 4, the Cleveland Browns versus the Detroit Lions. So for those of you who don't know my son, you met my wife last week, but my son, he's also is an author. He has a book series called The Prodigy, which is called The Prodigy Universe. But here he is, my son, Romero Jr., or the Prodigy. What you want to say to the YouTube family?
What's going on, YouTube family? I am Romero C. Phillips Jr. I am a published author. My books is on Amazon, link description down below. A fictional tale about me, based in Cleveland, superhero, and you guys will enjoy it and love it. And I'm also an inspirational speaker. I have a YouTube channel on my own, and also born and raised Cleveland, die-hard Cleveland Browns fan, bleed orange and brown. So
That's right. So all his information we'll have it in the description, where you can go to his YouTube page or you can go to Amazon and pick up some of his books. But for those of you that tuned in for the Browns, Ro, what do you think? Now, in my opinion, the Browns, Flacco, they will have to take Flacco out, or Flacco won't even start. I haven't been really watching to see what's going on. So I've been hearing that Dillon Gabriel is supposed to start. But I think at some point, like I said last week, but I think it's going to happen this week. At some point, Flacco will have to come out the game because he's just too slow. Just simply because of the fact of what the Detroit Lions did to Lamar Jackson in their game by corralling him, not even letting him run or scramble, or even scramble enough to get that 30, 40-yard pass. What you think about the situation?
Well, first and foremost, I know Joe Flacco, I know they're definitely going to start him tomorrow, definitely. Because the reason why they brought Joe Flacco in is because last time he was in Cleveland, he balled out, came straight from his couch. But now, just seeing him for this past 2-3 weeks, I think the age is starting to sit in on him. He's old. Father time got to him. He can't run. He sits in the pocket. That day and age in the NFL is kind of over with. And also with Joe Flacco, another reason why they brought him in is because he's a veteran. He played against all these teams and such. But eventually, I think something's going to happen in the game where Flacco's going to be taken out. God forbid. I hope he don't get injured. They're going to put Dillon Gabriel in there, see what he's going to do. But that Lions defense, you put Dillon Gabriel in there against that Lions defense, it's
it's going to be trouble.
Because I saw the Ravens game last week, and for a long time, I never seen Lamar Jackson got destroyed like that in a long time.
Yeah, shut down.
Yeah, that Lions defense is no joke, but the Browns defense is no joke as well. Our secondary is a little bit iffy, but coming off that upset that we pulled off last week will definitely help boost our confidence. So I think eventually they're going to put Dillon Gabriel in, but most importantly, eventually the way how the pressure is on Cleveland, because Shedeur Sanders, they interviewed him. Eventually, they're going to put Shedeur Sanders in eventually within the next couple of weeks. So
yeah, I think so. I think our front four give the Browns a chance to be in any game, and just because our ability to get after the quarterback, the opposing quarterback, he keeps us in every game, and more importantly, it keeps the points low, because as long as we can get to the quarterback in record time, the quarterback has no ability, or I shouldn't say ability, but there's a short window for him to throw the ball. And a lot of times, these quarterbacks, we want to throw the ball down the field. That's where the game is geared toward. Our secondary is just good enough to cover long enough so that our front four could get in on sacks and whatever. But I think you said it best. Joe Flacco, they brought him in, because of his experience with these defenses, but also I think he's a great resource for the young quarterbacks as well. Dillon Gabriel, I believe Dillon Gabriel is soaking up all he can. I believe Shedeur Sanders is soaking up all that he can, knowledge and wisdom from Joe Flacco. They would be foolish not to. So now let's talk about the Detroit pass rusher, Hutchinson. Did you pay attention to him?
I know he got a lot of sacks last week. I know he did, and he's not no joke. He's almost at the level. He's top 3, top 5 defensive edge rusher. We know Myles Garrett is definitely number 1, and T.J. Watt is up there. Yeah, they had about 8 sacks last week against Lamar Jackson. That's why I was like, yeah, that's their defense is no joke. So they definitely, the Cleveland Browns offensive line, they're definitely gonna have to do something against that pass rush, especially against Hutchinson, because Joe Flacco can't sit in the pocket all day. He can't run. His age is getting to him. Because eventually, if they don't take him out, and if Detroit does the Browns just like as they did to the Ravens, it's gonna be a long day for Flacco, and God forbid he's gonna get hurt.
Well, you know what? Don't be surprised if the Browns start bringing in a tight end to block. They're going to have their front 5. Traditionally you will have the running back chip block or somebody, but don't be surprised they bring in a tight end to double Hutchinson because they want Joe Flacco to be in that game as long as possible so he can get the ball down the field. But like you said, Hutchinson, he is one of the premier defensive rushers, defensive ends. So you got Hutchinson, you got Myles Garrett, you got Watt, you got Crosby. You got the guy on the Bengals, I can't think of his name, that raised all that hell and wanted to get paid.
Henderson, I think.
Yeah, Henderson.
I think it's Henderson.
Micah Parsons. So he's in good company. There's a couple more I can't think of right now, but yeah, he's definitely in good company. And the Detroit second receiving corps. My man Amon-Ra. I said it before in my short. I'm telling you, Amon-Ra, what's his name? Amon-Ra, St. Howard or something, whatever. But I'm gonna call him Amon-Ra, the sun god. That bad boy gonna be a handful for the secondary. Now I know you were saying last night you thought they should put Ward on him, but I think Amon-Ra is a slot receiver if I'm not mistaken. So Ward may not follow him. So it might be another DB on him or a safety or something, but I wouldn't be surprised if Ward had to switch off on him every now and then. But I think Ward is primarily covering that deep threat.
I think for certain the way how the Browns going to do, because Denzel Ward, he is one of the best corners in the NFL. And the way how Jim Schwartz is, he is a former defensive coach of the year. And so far he's been with the Browns. Our defense has been top 10, solid. Top 5, basically solid. So they know. I think for most of the night, if I was the Cleveland Browns, I would put Denzel Ward on him. What's his name?
Amon-Ra.
Yeah, I would have them. Yeah, because he is a slot wide receiver, but you that talented of a cornerback, they know he is. So I think they would definitely put Denzel Ward on him for most of the night. And just like we said with the safety, I would put Delpit on him as well. I will cover him, double him most of the game, pretty much all the game, the whole game, and have Denzel Ward cover him most of the game. And when you double him, have Delpit help double him.
Yeah, and
Delpit is pretty good.
Yeah, and some of the other receivers, they looked pretty good over there on the Detroit side, but Amon-Ra just stuck out because he just had the knack of getting open. So I imagine on him, you gonna have a safety high on him, and maybe I don't know, maybe because he playing the slot, maybe a linebacker ride underneath him. If he's on the outside, a corner going to ride underneath him. But I think, but enough about him. Our receivers, we're giving them too much shine. Our receivers, what's his name? Tillman. He came through last week with some key clutch catches. Mm-hmm. I think Judy also came through. And finally, what's his name? Coach Stefanski. He finally put in, the receiver we have named Bond. Joe Flacco missed him on a couple of, not a couple of throws, but he was just wide open on a couple of plays. But I think Joe Flacco couldn't get him the ball because he was under duress. And I think, I think we give the quarterbacks a bad rap sometimes by not throwing it to the open man, but it's hard to throw it to the open man when you got somebody wrapped around you or chasing you down. But I think we're going to see something great come out of our receiving corps this week, because we'll be playing some young players that no one has a game plan for. That's just my opinion. And I just think it's going to be a good game. I do think it's going to be a low-scoring game. I don't think it's going to be a game that's going to blow your socks off.
I see this game. I think it's going to be a close game, a close, intense game between the Browns and the Lions. I think between the two, there's going to be 28 to 24, 24 to 21. I think both teams going to end up in the 20s, no higher than 30. I think it's going to be that much of an intense game.
Well, who you think will win?
I think the Browns going to pull off another upset.
Uh-oh. You heard it from him. The Browns, they going to be at it again. They going to pull off another upset. Well, you know what? I can't wait for it. I don't know about you. But right now, we go check out. It was good to have y'all tuning in. And as I'm going to say, when my son, let's say it, go
Browns.